Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. It's showtime with applause aplenty for first half fantastics. In all 4 races, that championship season is up for grabs. In baseball forums, funny things happened on the way to the All-Star break. In Seattle, a midsummer night's dream under the Kingdome. And on the field, the Nationals still like to showboat. In Pittsburgh, Bucko defense ain't misbehaving. And in Anaheim, Ryan's Express knocks off the damn Yankees. Hit shows and highlights coming up center stage on This Week in Baseball. Brought to you by Gillette. Hear ye, hear ye. Major League Baseball, the people's choice for fantastic entertainment in '79. By the All-Star break, attendance was up 900,000 over last year, when an all-time record 40 million fans came to catch the action. And this season, the action has defied all predictions. In New York, Billy Martin returned to the helm a season earlier than predicted to try to save the Yankees' sinking ship. But lackluster hitting and the continuing list of key injuries kept the world champs 11 games out, hobbling in 4th place. Meanwhile, the National League champion Dodgers staggered, dropping 31 out of 41. The result, a shocking plunge into the basement and the worst record in the National League. And talk about shocks, how about the fast start of the sparked-up Houston Astros? From 5th last season to 1st, a 5.5-game lead. The Major's best pitching staff has made the difference. Even a no-hitter by Ken Forsch in the first week of the season. In California, an injury to Rod Carew figured to derail the Angels' pennant express, but the express only picked up steam. With 7 players collecting 45 or more RBIs, the Angels easily led the majors in runs scored, 523, and led Texas in the American League West by 2 games. And where were Whitey Herzog's 3-time division-winning Kansas City Royals? Well, by losing 14 of 15, they fell from 1st to 10 games out, almost out of the picture. In June, the Baltimore Orioles threatened to fly out of sight of the American League East. Late-inning rallies gave the Birds a 23-6 record for the month, 11-0 in 1-run games. And the Orioles bullpen won 11, lost none, saved 10 over a 6-week stretch. Yet, the Birds led Boston by just 2 games at the break. In the National League East, defending champ Philadelphia and rival Pittsburgh both had to fight to stay in the scramble. While in Montreal, the precocious Expos matured quickly with well-balanced, alert teamwork. A brief slide saw Montreal's lead over Philadelphia and Chicago melt to 3 games. But still, there were 4 new first-place teams at the halfway point of '79 Summer of Serendipity. There were individual surprises for the fans as well as team surprises. Brian Downing of the Angels took over the American League batting lead with a .352 average. No catcher has ever won an American League batting crown, and Downing has never batted over .284. Cincinnati's George Foster, known for his home run and RBI swing, also led the National League in average at .333. Foster led the majors in game-winning RBIs with 16, was tied for the National League lead in RBIs with 72, seeking an unprecedented 4th straight title. San Diego's Dave Winfield also had 72 RBIs at the break and trailed Foster by only 2 percentage points in hitting. But California's Don Baylor led the American League and majors in RBIs with a whopping total of 85. Could be headed for baseball's largest runs batted in total in 3 decades. Boston's Fred Lynn led the American League in home runs with 24, which was 1 more than Don Baylor and Gorman Thomas. The Phillies' Mike Schmidt took over the National League and Major League home run lead from Dave Kingman. Schmidt's 9 homers in 2 weeks gave him an amazing 31 for half a season. In the department of stolen bases, the base paths were greased for Detroit's Ron LaFleur, who motored his way to a Major League leading total of 49 thefts. In the pitching department, the Yankees' Tommy John led the American League in wins with a total of 13. While Houston's Joe Niekro led the National League also with 13. From the bullpen, Mike Marshall of the Twins topped the American League in saves with 18. And Chicago's Bruce Sutter, who recently picked up a win and 4 saves in 1 week, raised his National League leading total to 22. These are just some of the stars among the league leaders at the All-Star break. Now, it's time for this week's Volkswagen Quiz. A special Old Timers Day recently celebrated that amazing summer of '69 when the Miracle Mets rose from nowhere to a world championship, thanks to a Major League record-tying 41 one-run victories. Can you name the team that broke that record? Stay tuned. The Midsummer Night's Dream, the 50th Major League All-Star Game, filled Seattle's Kingdome, not only with the splendor of baseball royalty, but added many jewels of drama and excitement. Trying to shake the jinx of 7 straight losses, the American League took the field hoping to set the early pace. Angel ace Nolan Ryan did just that for the first 2 batters. Ryan looked too hot to handle. Watch. But Mike Schmidt came into the game with his bat still ablazing. This first inning triple scored 1 run, set up a 2-0 National League lead. Steve Carlton started for the National League, but in the bottom of the first, Don Baylor brought the American League back. An RBI double, good for 1 run. And Fred Lynn, playing despite an injury, got 2 more. There it is. It's going, and it is gone. A 3-2 American League lead after 1 inning of play. And that's the way it went, back and forth. The lead changed hands. Trailing 4-3 in the third, the Americans again came back to score 2 runs, leading 5-4. And for 2 innings, pitching and defense kept it that way. In the top of the 6th, Gary Carter came up against Mark Clear after Dave Winfield had doubled. Base hit, and the game's tied again at 5. That gave Seattle's Bruce Bochy a chance to become a hometown hero, pinch hitting in the bottom of the 6th. With runners at second and third, Bochy broke the ice with a Kingdome chop. Again, the Americans led 6-5. That was a troubled moment for manager Tom Lasorda, now facing runners at the corners with no one out. But Houston relief ace Joe Sambito did the job, slamming the door with an assist from Dave Winfield. The Mets' Lee Mazzilli debuted in the 8th, his team down by 1, and he delivered an opposite field home run. Once more, the score was tied, 6-all. The Americans put pressure on National League pitching arms, but it was the arm in right field that stole the spotlight. Dave Parker loses the ball in the glare of the dome, but recovers quickly and shoots down Jim Rice, going for 3. Man alive, what a throw. Then the play of the game. Greg Nettles lines a 2-out single in the bottom of the 8th, with Brian Downing running from second, and Parker uncorks his finest. Downing is out on a spectacular play. Top of the 9th, Bob Lemon makes a pitching change after the bases were loaded by walks. Ron Guidry gets the call. The batter, Lee Mazzilli. Ball 4, the Nationals lead 7-6. And that was good enough for Cub relief ace Bruce Sutter, who picked up his second straight All-Star win and the National League's 8th in a row. How about that? Now, the answer to this week's Volkswagen quiz. Brought to you by the 79 Rabbit, Dasher, and Scirocco. Volkswagen does it again. Just last season, the San Francisco Giants won 42 one-run games, thus breaking the former Major League record shared by the 69 Mets and the 1940 Cincinnati Reds. Next week, Volkswagen will ask you again. In Texas, all eyes are upon cute numbers and smart outfits. One good-looking outfit right now is the Texas Rangers, looking to round up their first title in the American League West. Just before the All-Star break, the Rangers gunned down defending champ Kansas City 3 out of 4 times. Steve Comer raised his pitching numbers to 10 wins and 6 losses, while Royals' numbers fell to 14 losses and 16 games. Texas bullpen numbers remain awesome. Jim Kern notching save number 16, a Ranger record. He and Sparky Lyle have combined to win or save 40 of 52 Ranger victories. Veteran John Ellis only seems to get stronger in the heat of July, adding 7 RBIs the week before the break. And Buddy Bell continues to be the Rangers' game buster with a .433 average during the week with 9 RBIs. Yes, these Rangers have proven to be a tough outfit in recent weeks, but at the break they still trailed 2 games behind the hard-swinging California Angels, who have really been jamming the stadium in Anaheim. A 3-game series against the Yankees opened with a twilight game on national TV. Nasty hitting conditions when Nolan Ryan is delivering his famed Ryan Express, a 100-mile-an-hour fastball that leads the majors in strikeouts. Holding many Major League strikeout records, Ryan is always a threat to add more. On this evening, he had the crowd going mad, not because of his strikeouts, a modest 9, but he was holding the Yankees to no hits, going for a record 5th no-hitter when Jim Spencer lined this eighth-inning shot. Rick Miller can't quite scoop it. Was it a hit? Officially, no. An error. The no-hitter is still alive, according to the official scorer. Reggie Jackson and the Yankees didn't agree, but the controversy became academic with 1 out in the ninth. No question about that one. And despite breaking up the no-hitter and shutout, the Yankees were still murdered by the Ryan Express. The 6-1 win was Nolan's 12th victory of the season, the 7th one-hitter of his career, more than any active pitcher. As the series continued, the roar of the crowd turned from Angel hurlers to Angel hitters. Rod Carew, anxious to play, discussed the art with Don Baylor, who's kept the hitting temperature red hot in California. Recently activated Goose Gossage tried to protect a healthy Yankee lead, but Baylor hit 2 homers. The second, a 2-out homer in the bottom of the ninth to tie a game, which the Angel eventually won in the 12th. And the next day, Bobby Grich batting, 2 out, bottom of the ninth. Angels trailing by 2. It's going. And Reggie, it's gone. The Ryan Express, Don Baylor, now Bobby Grich, who drove home all 5 runs in a 5-4 win. The Angels may be destined for new heights in '79. Turning to the National League East, the Pittsburgh Pirates have their bats racked and ready to strike for another second-half charge. Willie Stargell and other familiar employees of Pittsburgh Lumber Incorporated have been really cutting loose. New bats like Omar Moreno, a .241 lifetime hitter, but over .300 at the All-Star break. Bill Madlock, who recently climbed aboard the pirate ship, has always been a second-half hitter. His average is now rising in the 280s. Dave Parker, hitting close to .300 with 54 RBIs, an irrepressible force in the second half the past 2 seasons. If that happens again, watch out for the rollicking Bucks. Pittsburgh always adds up its share of runs, but in the past, the defense has yielded more than its share. Now Tim Foley has solidified the shortstop position. Better defense makes the Pirates tough customers indeed. Any late-season, late-inning headaches for Chuck Tanner can be cured by his multi-armed bullpen. Grant Jackson, 5 wins, 10 saves. Enrique Romo, 4 wins, 2 saves. And Kent Tecalbe, another second-half performer, 3 wins and 12 saves. 36 of Pittsburgh's 46 victories aided by this threesome. Only 4 games out at the break, the Pirates may be ready to roll. But then so too may be the Philadelphia Phillies, a team trapped back in the standings until recently reasserting their strengths, winning 7 out of 8 before the break, moving from 7.5 games to 3 behind Montreal. Suffering particular misfortune during Philadelphia's hot hand, former pennant rivals, the Los Angeles Dodgers, swept away in 3 straight. Mike Schmidt supplied the power during the energy thrust. 8 homers in 10 games. Catcher Bob Boone added more fuel, hitting .270 going into July. Boone boosted his average 51 points in 2 weeks. And helping to ease the pain of injured starters, Tug McGraw brought welcome relief, recording his 12th save. Some thought the Phils were sinking fast. Not McGraw. He could lift the spirits of passengers on the Titanic. And the Phils are back in the thick of the National League East. Thanks also to Del Unser, the recipient of this week's Gillette Special. Down by 2 against San Diego, Unser pinch hit in the ninth, 2 on, and there goes a 3-run homer to win the game 6-5. And that was Unser's 3rd home run and 3 consecutive at-bats as a pinch hitter, a major league record. Congratulations, Del. That's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.